Good evening, Blue Bear Nation. This is Jalen Lewis here, your host today for the Livingstone Women's College volleyball team facing off the Bluefield State women's volleyball team out of West Virginia. Today we have a great matchup against each other. Livingstone College currently 9-6 on the season 6-5 in conference. I don't know. Hello. I don't know if it's working or not. Serving up the first serve, number 12, Crenshaw. And first point goes to Bluefield State. Serving up another serve, number 2, Vineyard. Who could not quite get it over the net. Coming up for the serve, number 7, Reed. Freshman. Received by number 15, Brown. And couldn't quite get it over the net. Point goes to Bluefield State, 3-1. Back to serve, number 7, Reed. Crutchfield for the kill, and she completes it. Score is now 3-2. Bluefield State up. Out by number 5, Fanning. Point goes to the Blue Bears, tied up 3-3. Back to serve, Hunter. Score is currently 4-3. Livingstone College is up. The freshman Hunter from Goldsboro, North Carolina, back to serve. Received by number 2, Vineyard. Hunter back to serve again. Looking for an ace. And it is out. Point goes to Bluefield State, 5-4. So currently Bluefield State has not won a game all season. 0-16, has one game tied right now on the season. Looking to try to get a win here in New Trent Gymnasium. Received by Brown from Montgomery, Alabama. Brown on the kill and couldn't quite get it in. Point goes to Bluefield State. All tied at 5 right now. Crenshaw, the junior, back to serve. And she could not quite get it in. Actually, she did get it in. On the ace, 6-5, Bluefield is up. Another ace by Crenshaw, the junior. Going to work in the backcourt. Substitution for the Blue Bears. I need it. Chandler on the save, gets it back over. Bluefield on the kill, couldn't quite get it. Jaden on the tip. Chandler for the set. And Lana Dixon couldn't quite get it up. 9-5. Bluefield State is currently up in the first set. Livingstone, 9-6 on the season currently. 6-5 in conference. Chandler on the set. Crutchfield tried to get the kill and it is stuffed by number 17, Baker. Point goes to the Blue Bears, 8-6.
What is their mascot? What are they? What are the Blue Bears? Who are they? Yeah.
Stuffed by Lana Dixon, the freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina, going to work on that front line in the middle. Crutchfield, the freshman, back to serve from Durham, North Carolina. Gets it over barely. Received by number 10, Smith. And number 2, Vineyard, with the point. Score is 9-8. Bluefield State is up. Baker, the freshman, back to serve from World Hall, North Carolina. Bluefield State. Blue Bears on the point. Score is tied at 9. Libero for Bluefield State, number 1, Williams in. The junior. McGrutter on the ace. The freshman from Durham, North Carolina, who was in early in the game today. McGrutter with the serve. Received by the libero, number 1, Williams. Bethany Williams for the Stone. Gets it to Lana Dixon. And Lana Dixon gets the point. Blue Bears are currently up 11-9. Blue Bears 9-6 on the season, 6-5 in conference. Beat Bluefield State earlier in the year, 3-0 on sets. Chandler on the set to Dixon. Gets it over, received by number 16, Volpe. And stuffed by Chandler, the freshman from Rocky Mount, North Carolina, with the point. There are currently 5 freshmen on the court right now for the Blue Bears, and Jaden McGrutter with the ace going to work in that backcourt. Timeout, Bluefield State. We'll be back after this.
Let's take a moment to recognize our sponsors. Nationwide, Outward Communications, F&M Bank, Novant Health, Edward and your very own
Blue Bears, what are your plans for tomorrow evening? Come out and join us for the Blue Bear Madness right here in New Trent Gymnasium. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Wear your blue and black apparel. Let's go, Blue Bears. Back in game. The score is currently 13-9. Blue Bears are up. McGrutter back for the serve, looking for another ace. McGrutter with the serve, couldn't quite get it over. Point goes to Bluefield State, 13-10. Number 5, Fanning, back for the serve for Bluefield State. Gets it over, received by McGrutter. Set to Kaya Hunter with the cannon, getting ready to go to work. Point goes to the Blue Bears, 14-10. The libero, Bethany Williams, back for the serve for the Blue Bears, the freshman out of Goldsboro, North Carolina. Gets it over, received by 5. Fanning. Back on the Blue Bear side, set from Chandler. Gets it over to Jackson. Point goes to the Blue Bears. Little miscommunication right there by the referees. Williams on the serve, received by 1. Williams. Point goes to the Blue Bears, 16-10. Freshman looking for an ace. Received by number 5, Fanning. And Bluefield State couldn't quite get it over. Great hustle by number 12 for Bluefield State, Crenshaw, the junior. Point for the Blue Bears. Number 7, Reed, couldn't quite get it over the net. The freshman from Bluefield, West Virginia. Williams still back to serve, 18-10. Blue Bears are up, and the ace going to work. Bethany Williams, the freshman, the libero from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Back again to serve. Received by the libero, number 1, Shy Monique Williams. Chandler on the set to Hunter. Hunter for the kill, and goes to work. She is 2 for 2 on the kills today. The freshman from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Timeout by Bluefield State, and we'll be back after the break.
Let's take a moment to recognize our sponsors. Nationwide, Hotwire Communications, F&M Bank, Novant Health, Edward Jones Investments, and our very own WLJZ 107.1 FM.
You wanna do this? You wanna do this? All right. It's a lot.
Williams, the freshman, back to serve on the first set. And too far out for Williams. Tried to go on a hot streak right there with a smile on her face. 20-11. Livingstone College is up. Chandler on the set to Kaya Hunter. And Kaya Hunter and Chandler going to work, the dynamic duo. The 2 freshmen. Chandler from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Hunter from Goldsboro, North Carolina. Chandler back on the set, on the serve. Gets it over, received by number 2, Vineyard. And they get it over. Point goes to Bluefield State, 21-12. Number 7, Jordan Reed, the freshman from Bluefield, West Virginia, back on the serve. Hunter tries to get it, but it goes side out. Point goes to Bluefield State. (21-13). The Blue Bears are up. Reed back again on the serve. and it is out. Point goes to the Blue Bears, 22-13. Bluefield came out with a hot streak. The first couple moments of the game was up 5-0 and now trails 22-13. Hunter back on the serve. Received by the libero, number 1, Williams, and couldn't get it back over to the Blue Bears side. Point goes to the Blue Bears. 23-13 on the first set. And like I said, the Blue Bears have defeated Bluefield State earlier this year in the season. Won 3 sets. Bluefield 1-0, and point goes to Bluefield State after getting it over number 17, Baker, the freshman from Rural Hall, North Carolina, the only player from North Carolina on the Bluefield State team. Everybody else is from West Virginia. Number 12, Crenshaw back on the serve. Received by number 3, Champion. And the Blue Bears get it back over after they bounced off the ceiling a couple times. They actually get the point, score 24-14 on the first set. Blue Bears now trying to end this first set right here. The only senior on the team. Jackson gets it over, and number 2 hits it and goes side out. Point to the Blue Bears, and the Blue Bears win the first set. Couple quick statistics for the Blue Bears this past weekend. Had a tournament in West Virginia, actually in Winston-Salem, at Winston-Salem State against the CIAA Roundup. Played against Virginia State, Virginia Union, and Lincoln, Pennsylvania. Lost to Virginia State 3-0. Lost to Virginia Union 3-0, but beat Lincoln of Pennsylvania 3-0. Couple statistics for Bluefield State. 0-16 on the season right now. Lost to Livingstone 3-0 sets. Also lost to Winston-Salem 3-0 sets both times. And they are currently at a rematch right now. Bluefield trying to make somewhat of a comeback after this first set. We'll be back after the break.
Let's take a moment to recognize our sponsors. Nationwide, Hotwire Communications, F&M Bank, Novant Health, Edward Jones Investments, and our very own WLJZ 107.1 FM.
I'll call you. I'm getting back. I'm gonna get back on when it hits a minute. And we are back here at New Trent Gymnasium. Livingstone College Blue Bears versus Bluefield State College. A couple quick statistics at the CIAA Roundup this past weekend at Winston-Salem State. The Blue Bears had a total of 25 kills, 22 assists, and 22 digs against Virginia State. Virginia State had 39 kills, 32 assists, and 34 digs. Tough matchup for the Blue Bears this past weekend, but looking to bounce back. Still 9-6 on the season, 6-5 in conference. Have a couple more conference games coming up before the CIAA tournament to see if they are able to make it in. Bluefield State, coached by Andrea Oakes. Livingstone, coached by Shannon Allen, who played at Livingstone College, coached at Hillside High School before this. Was a part of a 20 game winning season on her team. One of the only teams to be able to do that at Livingstone. She was all CIAA conference holds the school record for assists and also played softball and coaches softball here at Livingstone. Back to the game, Anazi back in. Was the all rookie of the year for the Livingstone College women's volleyball team. Didn't start today. Felt like I feel like Coach Allen needed some of their veteran players to get some, good rest. They know that they beat Bluefield State a couple games ago, and feel like they have the confidence to win today. Livingstone College won the first set, 25-14. Blue Bears now on the board, 2-1. Bluefield State is up. So I feel like Bluefield starts off hot, has a little run, but the Blue Bears were able to maintain and come back. So we'll see on this second set. The freshman, Brown, back to serve for the Blue Bears. Received by number 2, Vineyard. Williams on the hit. Anazi for the kill and makes it look easy. Anazi, first point of the day. The sophomore from Houston, Texas, Victoria Anazi. Ace by number 3, the freshman from Franklinton, North Carolina, Amari Champion, who attended Franklinton High School. Back again to serve. Received by number 10, Smith. And the fake setup, set by Crutchfield. Thought Jackson was gonna go for the kill, and Anazi comes right up behind her and gets the kill herself. Great play by the Blue Bears. Brown on the serve and couldn't get it over. Point goes to Bluefield State. Back to serve, number 17, the freshman, Baker, from Roar Hall, North Carolina, standing at about 6 feet tall. Five freshmen, 1 senior on the court right now. Received by Brown, set by Thomas, and Crutchfield on the kill with the left-hand cannon. Going to work, number 14. A lot of good freshmen on the Blue Bears team this year. Jackson, the senior, back for the serve from Falls Hill, Virginia. Falls Church, Virginia, my apologies. Thomas on the set to Anazi. And nothing new. Thomas to Anazi. Anazi with the kill, making it look easy. You call it the vet around here. Score is 6-3. Blue Bears are up in the second set. We'll be back after this break.
Let's take a moment to recognize our sponsors. Nationwide, Hotwire Communications, F&M Bank, Novant Health, Edward Jones Investments, and our very own WLJZ 107.1 FM.
The Blue Bears going back into conference tomorrow against Shaw University and Raleigh. Also playing at Claflin on Saturday in Orangeburg, South Carolina. Next week is homecoming here at Livingstone College. And they'll be playing on Monday against Fayetteville State, one of the top teams in the CIAA conference. Point goes to Bluefield State. 5. Fanning back on the serve from Welch, West Virginia. Received by number 3. Champion. Couldn't quite get it over. And there's an ace for Fanning. Fanning again on the serve. Received by Champion. Hit to Thomas. Thomas for the set to Lana Dixon. And she gets the point. Substitution. McGrudden and Chandler back in the game for Thomas and Crutchfield. The freshman Chandler back on the serve from Rocky Mount, North Carolina. Gets it over. Received by number 12. Crenshaw. And there's an ace for the freshman Chandler. Stuffed by Dixon, the 5'11" freshman out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Chandler again back on the serve. Received by the libero, number 1, Williams, and couldn't get it back over. Another ace for Chandler. Timeout, Bluefield State. Score 10-5. Livingstone College is up. And we'll be back after the break.
Let's take a moment to recognize our sponsors. Nationwide, Hotwire Communications, F&M Bank, Novant Health, Edward Jones Investments, and our very own WLJZ 107.1 FM.
A couple quick statistics for Bluefield State. They average 2.5 kills per set. Also average 2.13 assists per set. Only have 100 kills on the season, 85 assists on the season, 425 digs, and 32 blocks. Averaging 10.63 digs per set. Looking to take a victory today over the Blue Bears in New Trent Gymnasium. About 3 hours away from West Virginia. Chandler gets it on the serve, and Champion couldn't quite get it back over the net. Point goes to Bluefield State. Score is 10-6. The Blue Bears are up. Number 12, the junior, Crenshaw, back to serve from Bluefield, West Virginia. McGrudden on the kill, and she gets it. Number 12, the sophomore out of Durham, North Carolina. Point goes to the Blue Bears. Anazi back in the game. Victoria Anazi on the serve, received by Williams. Anazi tips it. Back to Vineyard, and she couldn't quite get a lift on the ball. Point goes to the Blue Bears. Score is 13-6. Blue Bears are up in the second set. Jim started to fill in a little bit for the Blue Bears. Crenshaw couldn't quite get it in bounds. Point goes to the Blue Bears, 14-6. Anazi, the vet, back for another serve, looking for an ace. Couldn't quite get it over. Point goes to Bluefield State, 14-7. The freshman, number 17, Baker, back in for the game for Bluefield State from Royal Hall, North Carolina. Chandler on the set to Hunter, tips it over, received by Bluefield State. A little bit of miscommunication from Chandler and Dixon on the setup. Point goes to Bluefield State. Number 10, Smith, back for the serve from Bluefield, West Virginia. McGruder gets the tip. And stuffed by Dixon. Point goes to the Blue Bears. The freshman. Williams back again on the serve. And another ace for Williams. Fanning tried to hit it over and it bounced behind her. Blue Bears up 17-8. And Williams couldn't quite get it over on that serve with a smile on her face, hitting her teammate McGruder. Vineyard back for the serve for Bluefield State. Gets it over to McGruder, and she tips it behind her. Point goes to Bluefield State, 17-10. So an ace for Vineyard. Second set, 17-10. Livingstone College up. Vineyard back on the serve, received by Nazi. Tip to Chandler, Chandler to Hunter. Kaya on the kill, making it look easy. 18-10. Blue Bears are up. McGruder and Chandler come out the game. Jackson and Crutchfield come back in. Thomas on the serve and gets an ace immediately. Livingstone College looking good. Serve up for Thomas and gets another ace with a little kick in the celebration. Timeout. Livingstone College scores 20-10. Blue Bears are up. This game is sponsored by F&M Bank, U.S. Department of Veteran Affairs, Novant Health, Hotwire Communications, Jennings Insurance, Edward Jones Investments, and the Office of John McGrill. Special shout out to WLJZ 107.1 Livingstone College Radio. A couple events coming up here at Livingstone College. Tomorrow, we have our Blue Bear Madness at 6:30 p.m. Introducing the start of basketball season here at Livingstone College. They will be introducing the men's and women's basketball teams as well as the coaches. Prizes will be won. Dunk contest, three-point contest, skills challenge, fan challenge. Should be a fun time here in New Trent Gymnasium tomorrow. Also, Livingstone College football team facing off against Winston-Salem State here at home, October 26, 1:30 p.m. Looking to get a win there in conference play. As well as homecoming coming up next week. The Livingstone College women's volleyball team will be facing Fayetteville State University on Monday, the #1 team in the CIAA conference. Point goes to the Blue Bears. Score is 21-11. Hunter, the freshman, back on the serve from Goldsboro, North Carolina, gets it over, received by Vineyard. And Crenshaw tries to go for the kill and couldn't quite get it over. Hunter Back on the serve again, and it goes out. Champion coming in for Hunter. Score is 22-12. Blue Bears are up. Number 10, Smith in for the game for Bluefield State. Number 17, Baker, the freshman from Rural Hall, North Carolina. Back for the serve. Gets it over to Anazi. Thomas for the set. Crutchfield on the kill, and it is received by Bluefield. Ball still in play. We have a rally going on. Crenshaw gets it over, tips it over to Thomas. Thomas gets it back over the net. Smith hits it back. And number 12, Crenshaw, going to work, the junior out of Bluefield, West Virginia, gets the point. Score is 22-13. The Blue Bears are up. Baker back again for the serve, the freshman. Received by Williams, and Crutchfield saves it, tips it to Jackson, and Jackson gets the kill. Point goes to the Blue Bears, 23-13. Jackson, the only senior on the team, back to serve. From Falls Church, Virginia. Transfer from Lewisburg Community College. And gets an ace for the senior. Might be playing basketball this year for the Livingstone College women's basketball team. And gets another ace. Has quite a bit of size on her, standing at about a 5'11", 6 foot. And the win on the second set for the Blue Bears, 25-13. Heading into the third set, we will be back after the break.
Let's take a moment to recognize our sponsors. Nationwide, Hotwire Communications, F&M Bank, Novant Health, Edward Jones Investments, and our very own WLJZ 107.1 FM.
Turn it off. Cheerleaders. All right. Couple quick announcements and quick events going on this week at Livingstone College. Blue Bear Madness is tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. Basically introducing all the new Livingstone College men's and women's basketball team. Also new coaches. As well as the Livingstone College football team playing against Winston-Salem State here at Alumni Memorial Stadium at 1:30 p.m. Looking for a CIAA South win. Recap of the weekend for the Livingstone College women's volleyball team. Went 1-2 at the CIAA Roundup. Lost to Virginia State and Virginia Union, also defeating Lincoln University out of Pennsylvania on the north side of the CIAA. Looking to make it into the tournament that is coming up in a couple weeks for the CIAA. Livingstone is currently 9-6 on the season, 6-5 in conference. Last week defeating Winston-Salem State, a tough game, neck at neck. Went for 4 sets. Also defeating St. Augustine's University, winning 3-0 sets. And we will get the start of the 3rd set after the break.
This is Mark Jennings of the Jennings Insurance Agency. I'm not just a local agent, I'm also your neighbor. So what matters most to you also matters most to me. At my agency, I take the time to make sure I understand your insurance needs. So for auto, home, or life insurance, come see me today and let me show you how having an agent who cares can make all the difference in the world.
Join me in Salisbury at 503 Faith Road, right next door to Winks. Or just give me a call, 704-637-7733, and put the Jennings Agency on your side.
Let's take a moment to recognize our sponsors. Nationwide, Hotwire Communications, F&M Bank, Novant Health, Edward Jones Investments, and our very own WLJZ 107.1 FM.
Livingstone College currently winning 2-0 on sets going into the 3rd, starting all their freshmen, allowing some of those players that don't get too much playing time, giving them some work against Bluefield State, who is currently 0-16 on the season. Livingstone 9-16 on the season, 6-5 in conference. Vineyard, the freshman, back for the serve for Bluefield State. Received by Thomas. Set to Hunter, and Hunter gets the first point for the Blue Bears on the 3rd set. Hunter, the freshman, with the cannon on her arm, going to work. Thomas back for the serve. Received by Fanning for Bluefield State. The libero Williams gets it over. Thomas for the setup to Crutchfield, and Crutchfield gets the kill with the left-hand cannon. 2-0, Blue Bears are up against Bluefield State. Thomas back again for another serve. Thomas gets it over to Williams, the libero. The setup from Williams goes to Crutchfield with the left hand stuffed by number 7, Reed. Great hustle by Vineyard. Point goes to Blue Bears, not enough. Score is currently 3-0. Thomas back again for the serve. Bluefield gets it back over, and Williams goes for the dig and couldn't quite get it. First point for Bluefield State. The freshman, number 17, Baker from Rural Hall, North Carolina, back in for the Bluefield State College women's volleyball team. The freshman, number 7, Reed from Bluefield, West Virginia, couldn't quite get the serve over. Point goes to the Blue Bears, 4-1. Champion comes back in for Hunter. Coach Allen gives her a little bit of rest. Champion on the serve. Received by Fanning, and Fanning hits it to the ceiling, and it comes right back down. Point goes from 5-1. Fanning a little frustrated on that hit right there. Champion looking for another ace, gets it over, and received by Fanning. Gets it over, back over to Thomas. Williams for the setup to Anazi. Anazi for the kill, and couldn't quite get it. Too strong for the Blue Bears. Jackson back on the serve.
Thomas on the save. Anazi tips it. Bluefield gets it right back over, and a little miscommunication from Champion and Thomas. Couldn't quite get it over. Score is 6-3. Blue Bears are up. Williams, the libero for the Blue Bears, back in the game. Baker couldn't quite get it. Point goes to the Blue Bears, 7-3. Another point for the Blue Bears, 8-3 on the third set. Crutchfield on the left-hand serve, received by number 10, Smith. Fanning gets it over. Point goes to the Blue Bears. Too many hits for Bluefield State. Crutchfield back for another serve and side out. Point goes to the Blue Bears. Timeout, Bluefield State. 10-3 on the third set. Blue Bears going to work on a hot streak, and we'll be back after the break.
Let's take a moment to recognize our sponsors. Nationwide, Hotwire Communications, F&M Bank, Novant Health, Edward Jones Investments, and our very own WLJZ 107.1 FM.
Jennings? Okay. All right. Yeah, I just played this one. I'll do this one.
I don't know what that sponsorship is. But he's in 30 seconds for Marshall, so make sure you get that. Try to get him in at least 2 more times.
2 more times?
Say that we did it, you know, in the game.
Okay, I got you. All right. Score is currently 10-3. Blue Bears are up in the third set, looking to sweep Bluefield State. Crutchfield again back for the serve, the freshman from Durham, North Carolina. A usual starter here at Livingstone. And she gets an ace, the libero, number 1. Williams tried to get it over, but it was side out. Crutchfield again on the serve. Baker on the kill. And it is out. Oh. Okay, miscommunication from the referees. Point goes to the Blue Bears. Blue Bears are up 12-3. Crutchfield again on the serve, looking for another ace. Received by Vineyard. And Baker, the freshman, on the kill. The only player from North Carolina. Trying to get a little spark here for Bluefield State. Substitutions, McGrudden and Chandler going for Thomas and Crutchfield. Reed comes back in the game for Bluefield State. Baker back on the serve. Gets it over, received by Champion. That is tipped to Chandler for the setup to Anazi. On the kill, number 16, Fulp. Gets a save for Bluefield State. Point goes to Bluefield. Score is 12-5. Blue Bears are up. Back on the serve, Baker, received by Williams. And McGrudden on the kill, and she gets it. Baker tried to dig it and didn't quite get it. Point goes to McGrudden. The freshman from Durham, North Carolina, Anazi, the vet, back on the serve. Received by number 10, Smith. Williams for the tip to Champion. Champion on the kill. And it is end point for Champion. Scores 14-5. Blue Bears are up. Anazi again on the serve. Gets it over. Received by Fanning. Fulp. Little miscommunication between Fulp and Reed. Didn't know which one was going to be able to set the ball. Side out for Bluefield State. Anazi back on the serve. A little jump this time. Received by Williams. Champion on the kill. Great assist by Chandler. Champion with another kill. Standing at 5'6", with a little bounce on it. Anazi again back on the serve, goes for another jump this time. Received by Williams, the libero for Bluefield State. Fulp for the setup to Reed. Reed tries to go for the kill, and it is out. Bluefield State loses another kill. Point for the Blue Bears. Anazi again back on the serve. She usually never jumps on her serve, so I think she's trying to work on something here. Trying to work on her jump serve. Received by Smith for Bluefield. Fanning gets it over. Chandler back for a tip to McGrutter. And McGrutter couldn't quite get it in. Point goes to Bluefield State. Score is 17-6. Blue Bears are up. Crenshaw back in the game for Smith on that front line with Reed. Both standing at about 5'10", 5'11". Fanning back on the serve. Received by Anazi. Tip to Chandler. Chandler goes to the tip to McGrutter. And McGrutter gets it. Point for the Blue Bears. 18-6. Blue Bears have a game tomorrow against Shaw University, so I feel like Coach Allen is trying to reserve some of her starters, get them some rest for tomorrow for a CIAA South Conference game. Lana Dixon back for the serve, the freshman from Greensboro, North Carolina. Crenshaw gets it over. Hunter for the left hand tip over, and she gets it. Number 16, Fulp couldn't quite get it back over. Point for Kaya Hunter, making it look easy with the left. Lana Dixon. Back for another serve, looking for an ace. Williams receives it. Crenshaw goes for a kill, couldn't quite get it. McGrutter gets it over. A rally going on right now. Point goes to the Blue Bears as Crenshaw tried to jump on the scores table and get the ball back over. Dixon again on the serve. Scores 20-6. Blue Bears are up. Williams is received. Gets it to Vineyard. Vineyard gets it back over. Chandler for another setup to Kaya Hunter. Kaya Hunter on the kill, making it look smooth with 3 claps and a Ric Flair. Point goes to the Blue Bears, 21-6 in the third set. Dixon on the serve. Williams receiving well for Bluefield State. Chandler on another setup to McGrutter. McGrutter for the kill, and she gets it. McGrutter, the freshman from Durham, North Carolina. Point for the Blue Bears, 22-6. Trying to end this third set and get the victory for the day. Dixon again back for the serve. And a little too much. Point goes to Bluefield State. Bethany Williams in for Dixon. Vineyard back for the serve. The freshman from Welch, West Virginia. Gets it over. Received by Anazi. Chandler up for the tip. Kaya Hunter with the easy money kill a sniper on her arm. Thomas and Crutchfield back in the game for Chandler and McGruder. Thomas back for the serve. 23-7, Blue Bears are up. Gets it over and received by Vineyard. And miscommunication from Bluefield State. I thought Reed was gonna go for it. Looked at Crenshaw, had a little bit of miscommunication going on. And that is game, set, match. The Livingstone College women's volleyball team, the Blue Bears, out with another victory. Record is now 10-6. Looking for a win tomorrow.